Alright guys, take a look at this bike. This is 2022 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Nice. Definitely one of my favorite bikes. Fat Boy because look at that big old fat tire. Super fat tire. I love the Fat Boy and the fat bombs. Kind of a trade-off with the fat tire. It's a little bit harder to turn, but you get a lot more stability on the highway and on the road. Got some floorboards, got a kickstand kind of hidden down here. Alright, so we're going to fire this bad boy up. Got your typical Harley Davidson mirrors. We're in neutral. Nice. Got the Milwaukee 8 114. So this is actually the Fat Boy special with the 114. If it's not special, then it's the 107 engine. So this is, it's got the bigger engine. Kind of the interesting thing that I find on pretty much all Harley Davidsons, the mirrors. I love the mirrors, but they're really hard to adjust. You got to really crank on them to move them. I guess that's good though, so they're not kind of jumping around on the highway. But it almost seems like you have to put almost too much pressure, like you're almost gonna break them to adjust them. All right, so you got the clunk for the gear, which is normal, putting it into first gear. So I was kind of interested about the how far to move the clutch handle before it engages right there. And I absolutely love the Harley Davidson clutches. All right, we're gonna take this one out. Here we go. Floorboards. The floorboards feel pretty nice on this, actually. Not too high. The back brakes are nice. It seems like a lot of the back brakes on a lot of these are not that great on some of these Harleys. This one's actually feels pretty good. Not too bad at all. Alright, so the thing I like about the thick fat tire, the slow speed stability, like when you pull up to a stop sign, like the really super slow speed, it is really super stable. Alright. The last bike I took out had the 114. These have a lot of power. A lot of power. This one, it almost seems like, you know, I was actually riding the Street Bob. The Street Bob Softail actually had the handlebars way up high. Ooh. Going around this corner takes a little bit more force to actually push on the handlebars going around the corner. This one, this seems really easy to ride. Between the clutch and the handling and the stability and the power, lots of power. Lots of power. You really gotta push on. You gotta really push on the handlebars to get in the corners. Completely different than the Street Bob. The Street Bob is really super touchy. Oh, look, all the traffic. I think this is I think they had an accident on the highway and they're rerouting this, so we're gonna hit all this traffic on the way back. So you're gonna hit some high speed, a little bit of high speed. One thing that's kind of interesting on this one, after coming up, that's the Street Bob actually had a little digital speedometer right on the handlebars, which I didn't really think I'd like it that much at first. Wow, look at all this traffic. But now that I'm riding this one, it's interesting because you have to look all the way down to see how fast you're going, which is kind of a distraction. I don't know, maybe it's because I have the camera on my helmet. Yeah, pretty nice, pretty stable. You can kind of feel the rumble of the engine when you give it gas, going 65. Super stable at 65. Very nice, very nice. The seat is pretty firm, but it's really comfortable. So far I've been on multiple Harley Davidsons all day doing test drives on their demo days, and it seems like my rear end hasn't really hurt on any of them. Seems like I had a problem with some Hondas. You'd ride them for about 10 minutes, and you're like, I gotta get off this bike. And it's not really the same with any Harley Davidsons. This one is pretty nice. I love the sound of it too. It's a really nice sound. That's a nice color too. It's an interesting shaped gas tank. And as far as like one-handed waves to other bikers, no problem at all. In this one, you can ride this one-handed because of the thicker front tire. Gives you a lot of stability on the road. It's kind of like it's almost like a beefed up version of the Street Bob. I mean, the Street Bob is like about as raw of a bike as you can get. You know, nothing fancy, just raw bike. And this one's like kind of like the same way, where it's just raw bike, except it's just more beefy overall. Although they do have the same engine. I'd say the Street Bob may have the advantage. I think it might be a little bit lighter, so kind of gives you the impression that the Street Bob's a little bit faster, maybe just because it's a lighter bike and it seems like you can get a little more acceleration out of it. But this one is plenty fast enough. I don't think you can lift the front end on either one. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So the weird thing about this is that the seat kind of forms up around your tailbone. But you know, when you first sit on these, you think, man, that might be uncomfortable because it's kind of up around your tailbone. But it's very comfortable. This one's very comfortable. Not bad at all. Yeah, we definitely don't want to go on the highway. Alright, so we're going to turn around up here and head back. Hopefully we'll miss the rain today. So as far as vibration in the handlebars, it's not really like buzzy like you'd see in some of your bikes, like buzziness in the handlebars. But you can definitely feel the vibration when you when you give it gas. You can definitely feel some vibration. I think I was supposed to turn around back there. I think we're going a little bit too far. We'll see. No, there's an arrow. Yeah, we keep going. Alright. So they kind of changed the route on me. Yeah, so you can feel some road vibration in the handlebars, but it's not bad. I felt some that were worse in the rear end. This one's, you can feel a little bit of vibration. I think it's just because the road is just pretty bad. Got a really bouncy road, almost like washboard on this road. And I don't know, I guess there's pros and cons to if you can feel the road or not. Like your ultra limited is so smooth, it feels like you're riding a car. And then on this one, I mean, you can go fast. I'm going like 70 now, and it's smooth as long as the road's smooth. But if you feel a few bumps, you can definitely feel them coming up through the handlebars. And some people kind of like that, the feel of the road. So I can feel the road a little bit, just enough to where you can tell you're riding a Harley. And you can feel kind of the vibration coming up through the handlebars. So what else can I tell you about this bike? You know, the funny thing is on a lot of these Harley Davidsons, it seems like on a lot of them, I always feel like the floorboards are a little bit too high up. But on this one, it seems like, since the seat's a little bit higher, the floorboards don't really bother me on this one like they do on some of the other ones. So it's a pretty nice setup. It's pretty funny because you know, a lot of people are trying Harley Davidsons for the very first time, and oh, we're on track right here. We got the two arrows to turn around. All right, we're good. This is where we want to turn around right here. All right. And oh, this visor's fogging up. And people are trying to wave and ride a new motorcycle that they're not used to. So it's always funny on these demo rides, you're waving at people, and those people are riding bikes for the first time, and some of those bikes, they're not very good for waving, especially if you're not used to that bike. So this one is actually really good. You can easily wave to people on this bike. So would I buy this bike? I would definitely buy this bike. This is one of the ones that definitely up on my list as far as a bike that I would buy. Super fast. That thing roars when you get those RPMs up there too. It really roars. It's a really fun bike. Probably one of the funnest bikes. The good thing about having no windscreen or windshield is you'll never get any of that buffeting. If you've ever experienced buffeting, oh, let me tell you, I've been on some bikes that are really bad. It's like your head is in a paint can shaker and it blurs your vision. It's like really choppy on your helmet. It's awful. It's funny because I rode with a windshield on my Dyna. I actually ride a Dyna Street Bob, and I rode with the windshield for the longest time. And I don't know, after riding day after day, it seems like taking that windshield off is just so liberating. It's pretty amazing. I'd say starting as a beginner, you probably want wind protection, but after a while, you just get to where you're not really afraid to ride anymore. It's like you have to get over the fear factor when you start riding, and then after a while, if you haven't taken your windshield off in a while and you're getting really good on the bike, you should try to take the windshield off. It's so liberating to get out in the wind. It's pretty amazing. Of course, unless you live where there's a lot of bugs, like if you live down south or something, where the bugs are like rain. I've actually seen that like in the summer down in Georgia. Bugs are really bad. But here in Colorado, there's no bugs here. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's a pretty nice bike. Pretty hard to turn around the corners, I'd say. Not too bad. You just kind of have to get used to the like pressing a lot harder. I'd say probably maybe 4 times as hard you have to press on the handlebars going around the corner. So if you're taking a left turn, like going around a left corner, you have to press on the left part of the handlebar over here. It takes about 4 times the pressure on a fat tire like this, with a really fat front tire, versus something skinny like a street bob or something. Back brakes are nice on this. Nice back brakes. I really like the back brakes. The steering, I'd say, is pretty forgiving. Slow speed stability on this is excellent. Pulling up to a stop, no problem at all. It's funny because on last year's demo ride, we had one of the guys that would lead the demo rides. He was actually one of the riders that would guide whole groups of people. And after riding, he said he went through all the different bikes, and after riding, he said his favorite, hands down, was the Fat Boy. That's all he rode anymore, was the Fat Boy. This is definitely a fun bike. It's fast, it's stable, it's still raw. You can feel the vibration of what a Harley Davidson is supposed to look like. This is a nice bike. I'd say this is probably one of the the few bikes with floorboards that I actually like the floorboards on this. Usually I prefer pegs. If I was to get a bike with floorboards, it'd probably be this one. It's just really comfortable. Has a very comfortable stance to it. You know, it's funny because every bike seems to, you know, it always has its pros and cons. I'd say on this one, maybe if I was to pick out one con that someone might not like, it could be maybe it has a little bit too much road vibration. Depending on what you're looking for. Personally, I like the little extra road vibration because you know you're riding. But if you're looking for like ultimate and smoothness, like an ultra limited or something where it feels like a car, I don't know, it's kind of pros and cons because you get on an ultra limited and it's almost like cheating. It feels like you're riding in a car with two wheels because it's very car-like. This one is very like a motorcycle, like a motorcycle should be. I guess it really depends what you're doing. If you're going cross country, you know, driving 10 hours a day, maybe an ultra limited would be a better choice or something like that. So underneath this video, I'll actually put all the specs, the price, and all the technical specs on this bike if you're interested in all the specs. I actually don't get a commission if you buy one. Although Harley Davidson did say they would give me a $100 gift card if somebody referred me, said, hey, Chris Harbert told me to buy this bike. But I've never actually mentioned it till now. I usually don't mention that on my videos. I just kind of like doing the demo rides, and it's weird because you look at a bike and you have no idea what that bike is like unless you actually ride it. And that's the problem. A lot of people won't let you ride the bikes. You know, when I first started riding, you know, I'd go into like Honda or Kawasaki and they're like, no, you can't ride the bike, you have to buy it before you ride it. It's like, how do I know if I like it, if it's comfortable, if it's fast, if it's hurting my tailbone, if it scares me on the highway, unless I actually ride it. And then you got some places like I think it's Yamaha that has a policy against letting anyone use like a GoPro in their test drives. So I'll probably never do, you know, a lot of those foreign bike manufacturers, a lot of them say you can't use GoPros. So I'll probably never have a video about any of those bikes, which is unfortunate. But Harley Davidson, you can go into any Harley Davidson as far as I know and just say, hey, I'm going to ride that bike in the showroom, and they'll just walk it out and you can ride it. It's pretty awesome. Harley Davidson's the only one I know that's like that. And then they bring these big 18-wheelers with like 18 bikes, and you can just go down the line just all day, day after day. That guy wanted to turn. I was kind of in his way. Alright, so would I buy this bike? Yes, I would buy this bike. This is a pretty awesome bike right here. Coming back into figure out what I want to ride next. Fat Boy, definitely one of my favorites. I noticed this one kind of has a wandering throttle, which is kind of interesting. The throttle kind of, it's not real solid, it kind of goes up and down a little bit. Alright, so there you have it. That is the 2022 Fat Boy Special with the 114. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time.